everybody. This is Gail Turner Brown once again for the Monetizing Show. Oh my God, y'all. Look, I am on location. Okay. I know you guys have been kind of tuning in, and I am on location. My newest location is Chino. I'm in Chino, California. And so, I'm on a mission. As I said, I'm on assignment because we are here talking about Airbnb and some other stuff too. But we're doing a thing about Airbnb. So I want to welcome everybody. And I really appreciate you guys tuning in. You guys are going to be so excited today because we have an amazing show. So once again, this is Gail Turner Brown. I am the broadcast entrepreneur and co-host of the Monetizing Show. As always, we say this is a place to be to take your skills, your talents, your expertise, and turn them into cold, hard cash. So now, before we get into the major content of the day, as always, I let you know two things. Number one, grab your pens, grab your papers, grab your recording device, or whatever you need to get this information. You're not going to want to miss this today, y'all. I am telling you, you're not going to want to miss this. Number two, before we really get started, I want to introduce to you my illustrious co-host, Mr. Best-selling author and implementation strategist, Mr. R.L. Chance. Take it away, Mr. Chance.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Monetizing Show. It's been an awesome time. And so we hope today you are in a good location like Gail is. She's going to tell us a little bit more about where she is, what she's doing. I hope you guys have been following. And so I must also remind you again, listen, you want to make sure you do several things. Like, comment, and share. I already see some folks are on here. Welcome, Martha, and others. Make sure you like, comment, and share. Put it on Facebook, YouTube, whatever have you. Share out the link wherever you're receiving it, or even Periscope. So wherever you're getting this feed, make sure you like, comment, and share. Today is an awesome show. My name again is Chance, U.S. Navy veteran, #1 best-selling author, and your implementation strategist. Today's show is powerful because for the last few weeks, if you guys have been noticing, Gail has been coming to us from different locations in California where she's doing some experiment, and she is sharing with us the Airbnb lifestyle, sharing with us different strategies to be able to not only live the life of your dreams, but also how you can monetize it. And today we have an expert on. First, I'm going to have Gail introduce the topic or the title for today's show. Then I'll come back and introduce who our guest is, because many of you, I'm going to test you and figure out if you actually read this book, Monetize Your Skills, because she is featured in this book. So without further ado, Gail, what's our topic or title for today?
All right, Mr. Chance. So, and I just thought about something, guys. Chance has been gone. He has been sailing the high seas, getting his education on, okay, cruising and making money at the same time. And that's what we're always talking about. How can you live the life that you want to live on your terms? And that's what today's show is about. So here is the deal. If you've been watching it, as Chance mentioned, I've been traveling to Airbnb. And as I've been going to different Airbnbs, my mind has been blown. It has been totally blown. So the question became, man, how can someone take advantage of Airbnb if they don't have any money? Maybe they don't have a house. Maybe they don't have this, don't have that. Well, guess what? As we always do, when we come across something, we scour the planet for the best people possible, and we bring it to you. So the topic for today is, how do you get involved with Airbnb if you don't have any money, you don't have any property, and you don't have any credit? Okay, what can you do? And we're going to answer that question for you today. So I'm going to let Mr. Chance bring on our fabulous guest today so he can share with you what is happening. So I'm going to send it back to you, Mr. Chance.
All right. So yes, and the reason we do this again, because we believe here at Monetize Your Skills, we want to monetize you. Gail normally says at the closing of our show, if you can imagine it, you can monetize it. And so one of the things we may not, which I myself never imagined, is that we are now living in the sharing economy where people can monetize their home in strategic ways, right? And so I learned about this guest maybe about a year and a half ago thereabouts. So it was when I was writing this book, Monetize Your Skills. And for those who have read the book, or if you haven't, she's on page 47, so much so that she actually takes up 22 pages in this book, right? And I'm talking about none other than Miss Sue Hoyuela, all right, coming all the way from California. She's in Gail's neck of the wood. But Sue is an author. She has authored 2 books right now called How to Make Quick Cash from Your Couch and How to Also Use Your Couch to Pay Off Your Mortgage. So that's something amazing, right? So I remember this. Her and I, we were in an online course. We were in the group together, and I sent one of my friends to a meetup because I could not go. And so I sent a friend of mine and I said, hey, your job there is to connect at least one person and then connect me to them. So he connected myself with Sue. And so we had this wonderful talk, this wonderful interview. And she told me all about this Airbnb game that I absolutely was clueless about. So not only that, but I'm telling you, this book features people who are doing 6 and 7 figures. That was one of the criteria actually to be featured in the book. So when I found out that she is not only doing 6 figures, but she's also helping others, I'm like, listen, you need to get this information out. So if by chance you did not read the book, we have her on today. So help us, the Monetize You Show, help us welcome, as only we can do, Sue Hoyuela. Sue, welcome to the show today.
Thanks, Chance. It's great to be here. Wow, it's so cool. I had no idea that I was featured on 22 pages in your book. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here.
Well, we are so happy to have you. And yes, the thing too, it was a hard edit because yes, I know 22 is a lot, but because it was life changing. I had never heard of it before. I interviewed other people, but they had the usual things that I'm used to. And so I'm like, okay, we need to get as much information in as possible because people need this tool. So today you're going to actually share with us. So again, the title, we're talking about how to make money with Airbnb. Even if you have no property, no credit, and no loans or nothing like that, you can actually, matter of fact, Gail even said she spoke with you and there are over 13 ways. We're not going to cover all 13 today, but we want to be able to introduce you to this presentation. And Sue is the expert. All right. So Gail, where do you want to start?
Okay, so as always, and I want to also say thank you so much, Sue. I so appreciate you. Sue has allowed me to just kind of get into her head, and I really appreciate it because then she exploded my mind. So what we always do is we start from the very beginning because I was actually in an Uber, and I mentioned I was going to an Airbnb, and he said, well, what is that? So that's where I want to start because we assume people know. So what is Airbnb and what kind of people participate?
All right. Wow. I mean, I have to say too, Gail, it's been such a pleasure meeting you and, spending time putting 2 entrepreneurs in a room who start sharing ideas. It could be dangerous, right? We've got so many ideas. Oh my gosh. So I've loved brainstorming with you and sharing Airbnb, my excitement for it, my love for it, and what you're doing, traveling, living the Airbnb lifestyle. I'm learning a lot from you too. So, basically, to answer your question, going back, Airbnb is simply a website that allows people to connect. So if you're a traveler and you're looking for a place to sleep and there's a homeowner and they've got a place for you to sleep, I say it boils down to as long as they've got a pillow and a blanket, these 2 people can connect through Airbnb. So, I mean, that's the core that Airbnb is actually providing. There's a lot of different websites out there that do the home sharing thing, but many of them require you to have a whole house. But Airbnb boils it down to something as simple as providing someone with a place to sleep. And you can get pretty creative with that, as we've discussed, right?
Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. So, I've seen some crazy places. I mean, when I saw someone who was renting out their hammock, okay, and I'm like, okay, a hammock, really? But if you're at the beach, if you're on an island and you just want a place to sleep, people will do it. So I thought that was amazing. I really thought that was amazing. All right, Chaz, I'm gonna send it over to you.
So some of these interesting things where Gail also shared with me, but I know in the beginning you had said even one of the things is you had like a detached something to your house, and you even put that up where folks were able to stay with that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's really how it all began. I was looking for a way to make an extra $100 a month to put towards my debt. And I heard about this Airbnb thing, and of course at the time it was Airbnb what? This was back in 2011. And it was brand new, and I came home and I told my husband, you know what, there's this website, you can rent your space and people will pay you, and why don't we try doing that so we can try and make that extra $100 to put towards our debt. So we had a shed in our backyard, and my husband had his eye on it as his man cave, and my son wanted to make it into his band room, but instead we decided, you know what do we have to lose? Let's see if we can just rent it out and put it up on Airbnb. And of course we're thinking, but who's going to really want to come and stay here? Because we're actually in the suburbs of Los Angeles. We're 26 miles away from the beach and Hollywood and where people really want to be. So we were just thinking, who in the world would want to come and stay at our house, first of all, much less in a shed in our backyard. But we didn't have anything to lose, so we fixed it up. My husband's handy, so we put some windows, some curtains, some little flower boxes, and we put 2 beds up in the loft and then a full bed downstairs. And it's amazing what you could do with a 10 by 12 space. I mean, when you talk about it on the listing description, we describe it as you walk into the foyer with the business center to the left, and it's like 2 feet. And then you get to the bedroom, and beside the bed is a table with 2 chairs, which is the dining room, which is kind of also inside the closet, But if you go upstairs to the loft, it sounds huge, right? But it's just this cabin. But we put that up on Airbnb, and we had our first guest within the first 7 days, and we were shocked. So after renting the cabin for a month, we made an extra $1,000 in our first month.
Wow.
And at that point, we were just like, okay, what else can we do with this? And so that's how it began, with a shed in the backyard, and then it just exploded from there.
And so for those who are watching, we're going to bring, talk a little bit about those numbers. We know we don't want to, make things seem so out of the sky that you can't reach it. But the reality is she has done way, way beyond that. And you guys can guess, because like I said, to be featured in this book, everyone who is featured in this book is making 6 and 7 figures. So, she had to at least at that time be making 6 figures. So that's powerful. Even Bruce Jones is on. Welcome, Bruce. Bruce just said actually he did an Airbnb last week, right?
Okay.
That's amazing. Now we just came back from vacation, right? This is our cruise. We went on the Phenomenal Life cruise, and we were trying to do an Airbnb. We didn't actually get to do one because my wife wanted to stay with some friends over there. But we ended up paying them, because I'm like, listen, we were gonna do an Airbnb. This is how much we were gonna pay, and so let us at least pay you. But they didn't want us to pay them. But we said, no, let's at least give you something. So this is the kind of lifestyle that is possible. As we said, she's written 2 books on this particular subject, right? So this is what Airbnb is generally all about, but it's part of something we call the sharing economy. So tell us a little bit about the sharing economy, and then Gail, let's delve into some of the strategic secrets now of using Airbnb to monetize.
All right. So the sharing economy is basically all of these different websites that have been popping up now that help the people connect. So the way Airbnb is connecting travelers with people who have a room in their house or a couch or a whole house, other websites are popping up that do the same thing, this peer-to-peer connection. So of course, there's Uber and Lyft for, if somebody's got a car and they want to give somebody a ride, and somebody that needs a ride, they connect through the website. When I was first doing Airbnb, I was able to quit my job after just 9 months. It completely replaced my income as a manager. Wow. And it was only taking me about 10 hours a month to run my little business, compared to when you're working as a manager, you're working like 60 hours a week, So I quit my job. I was working 10 hours a month. I had all this extra time on my hands. So I said, you know what? I'm going to embrace the sharing economy. Let's see what else it has to offer. So right away, I signed up as an Uber driver. My husband also became a Lyft driver just to see what that was like. Had a great time driving people around, talking to them, and making a little extra money, getting paid to go to the beach. I was like, this is cool. I found a website called TaskRabbit, and you get to post all of your skills on there, and you get to say what you want to get paid. And the average was $35 an hour. So I said, sure, I'll get paid $35 an hour. What do you want me to do? And I got jobs assembling furniture, cleaning houses of all things, delivering lunch to people. You know, whatever you can do, you can put it up on TaskRabbit. There's another one called Handy. It's specifically designed for cleaning services. So if somebody wants to clean, somebody needs something cleaned, they connect through the website. And there's dozens of them out there. In fact, we just had some guests from Spain, and they wanted to figure out a way that they could start to make some money while living here in California on a short-term basis. And it turns out that her gifts were in the area of being a professional singer in Spain, and she loved to play guitar, and she loved to cook. So guess what? What website do you think would be perfect for this, right? There's one called mealsharing.com, and she wanted to create a traditional Spanish meal. So she makes paella, tortilla, gazpacho, and get some Spanish wine, and then have it be up for 8 people at a time who can pay $25 to come and have dinner and, speak Spanish if they want. And then she entertains them with singing and guitar. So an amazing evening, and it's a great way to connect. So mealsharing.com is another sharing economy website that helps people connect in so many amazing ways. And I could go on, but...
First of all, now you've made me very hungry. Just letting you know that. And I checked out Meal Sharing, and I shared it with a friend of mine who I stayed with when I first got here. And she would cook all the time. She would love to cook. We would always have like these themed meals, right? She's like, okay, Gail, Tuesday is taco night. I'm like, okay, fine. Well, I shared that with her, and okay, I think I blanked out for a second. I shared it with her, and I was like, do you know you can do the exact same thing, but now you can get paid for it? Why don't you have a taco night and go get paid for it? And so she was like, really? And I'm like, yeah, you can do that. So it's really, really cool. So one of the first questions when I share this with people, and I want you to make sure that people understand that before they do this, maybe there's certain characteristics of kind of a personality type that they need. So usually the question that I have been asked is, well, I don't know about having strangers in my house. How do you help people get over that? And is there a particular, I'm going to use the word personality type, that you really need to be before you can do this?
That's a great question, and you're absolutely right. A lot of people are not comfortable having strangers in their house. Especially if you live with your spouse, and one of them's like, yeah, let's do it. And the other one's like, no, there's not a lot you can do. But there are ways around it. A lot of times people can do things to the room if they have it for rent, if they want to make it with a private entrance so that the guests can come and go and they don't have to come through the house, kind of create a separate area for the guests so that there doesn't need to be any interaction. In fact, when we help seniors make money with their properties, this is a really key thing that we look for, because if a senior, a lot of times they need extra money and maybe they're no longer able to climb up and down stairs and use the whole house. They can monetize that part of the house, but we'll structure it so that they're not having to interact with the guests, to protect them. And the guests actually prefer that experience, having the private entrance and the private bathroom. And sometimes guests feel like they're a burden in a way. It's sort of strange. So by providing that separate area for the guests, that makes them feel better too. And the other part you asked about is the personality type. And, that's kind of funny, because I have to confess that I am an introvert. And I thought that this would be the last thing that I would enjoy doing, I'd be like, I just need my alone time, leave me alone. But no, it's been amazing. And a lot of the hosts that I talk to, they say the same thing. So you don't have to have any kind of a particular personality type. I think introvert, extrovert, if you're comfortable or you want to talk to strangers, that's great. If you don't, it's really easy to just say, here's your room. Let me know if you need anything. I'm available by text, or you can do it all automated too. You don't even have to interact with guests. So it's got something for everyone.
That's okay. So that's good. Go ahead.
No, you answered a lot of key questions there, because I know the fear of stepping into the unknown, having folks on your place and different things like that. Because when I spoke with you, you're right. We started. I have a hosting account already set up from our conversation, but after a while we didn't proceed. And it was perfect because we were going on a lengthy summer vacation at that point. I'm like, and that was my thing. I'm like, hey, while I'm gone, we could be making some money. But but at that point, it was like, well, who's staying in my house and who's what? And so I couldn't answer the questions because I had just spoken to you, but I just like try everything. So, but I'm back on it now because I'm like, okay, you know what? We need to try this one more time. The account is already there set up. So, but I want you guys to do this though. Stay tuned because Sue, at the end of this presentation, which we have about almost 20, 25 minutes, she is going to give you a free PDF download. It's about 13 pages that will actually break down a lot of these strategies for you. So make sure you stay at the end for that. She's going to give us the link for those who want to get more insights and information into that. Okay, so before we go on to the next question, Gail, someone is actually, Kat is asking, welcome Kat, is asking, where are you about? She see you outside now. Sometimes we see you indoors, we see you all over the place. Where are you today? What city are you in today?
Okay, so today I am in a place called Chino, and I'm at the moment I'm outside. I'm at a Starbucks, so I'm outside. So you guys may hear a lot of noise going on in the background. So I'm on an outside cafe today. So I'll only be here until tomorrow. I leave to a new location. Y'all have to stay tuned for where I'm going to be. But I will tell you this. Stay tuned, especially like Saturday. I'm going to be at a special event on Saturday. So I will keep you guys posted, okay, as to where I am. So that's what it is. Chino is really nice area. It's also like in a suburb. But now I am like really ready to head toward the beach. So I'm going to get closer. This is inland, and now I'm ready to kind of go closer to the beach, closer to the city. So y'all stay tuned. But Chance, that was funny. And so it was hilarious because, we had just connected and all of a sudden everybody's light bulbs were going off. And it was like within like 6 or 7 days that Chance was going on the cruise. He was like, wait a minute, I can do this. I have all of these rooms that I can take advantage of. So, but he was trying to hurry up and get it together. But it's just, as I mentioned, you're really sparking a lot of light bulbs are going off with us because I had no idea that people were doing this. So I would really like to kind of now begin to get in. I'd really like to kind of get into just what kind of money can be made. I am amazed. You said in 9 months you replaced your salary, okay? And you just wanted to make $100 a month. Right. So what can a new person, brand spanking new, don't know nothing, but use your system, what is the realistic expectation for somebody just starting out?
Okay, that's a good question, and it might be a little lengthy answer here. It depends. So, for example, how I started out, right? So I have 4 different business models that I use with Airbnb on a daily basis. So the one that got me started was renting rooms in my own house. So I call that the bed and breakfast model. In the beginning, we did offer breakfast because we were, we're way out here in the suburbs. We're going to have to reel them in, give them a reason to come over here, so we'll give them breakfast. But you don't have to do that. So what we discovered, though, is by renting by the night rather than by the month, you typically double or triple your rental income. So check it out. If you wanted to rent a room in your house, you go on Craigslist and you see a room for rent in someone's house, maybe, out here in the suburbs, it's $500 a night. Now, if you divide that by 30, you're paying roughly $17 a day to stay. So when you put it up on Airbnb and you rent it by the night, let's say for $50 a night, first of all, $50 a night for someone to stay in a hotel, that would be dirt cheap, right?
Yeah, exactly. In fact, you'd be scared to get a $50 a night room to build.
Right. So it's a good deal for the traveler. And then if you look at it, $50 is triple what I'm making from a long-term tenant. So 50 times 30 nights in a month is $1,500 a month. So that's what I call the power of renting by the night, because it's just a huge income maximizer. So, what's really interesting to me, though, is, okay, we're in Los Angeles, California, and property values and rents are astronomical out here. So we've got some friends who are from Pennsylvania, and they came and lived with us for actually 2 years. They saw what we were doing. They had the inside scoop. They went back to Pennsylvania and they bought a 4-unit apartment building for $50,000. And they started renting each apartment out for $50 a night. And I was like, wait a minute, those are the same rates that we're renting for in California, but your prices in Pennsylvania are so much cheaper. That's not fair. Their ROI was crazy. So that's why it's kind of hard to say, what can you expect? Because Airbnb is worldwide. It's in 191 countries around the world. You can do this anywhere. So depending on your ROI and your nightly rate, there's just opportunity everywhere. So I also had a friend that wanted to rent out their whole house, and they were making about $1,200 a month from their long-term tenants. But when the tenants stopped paying the rent and they had to go through the eviction process, sadly, and then the tenants kind of felt entitled to not pay rent after 6 months or so. They didn't understand why they were being escorted out by the sheriff, so they did a lot of damage to the property.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so my friend who's a landlord was repairing the property and putting a lot of money into it, and he was thinking, man, I'd rather leave it vacant than do tenants again. It was so painful. And he said, do you think we can do this vacation rental thing on my property? And we decided to go ahead and then convert it into a furnished short-term rental. And right up from the start, he was making $3,600 a month renting it to these short-term guests. So, the power of renting by the night is just incredible, and it can be applied to rooms, it can be applied to whole houses, it can even be applied to timeshares. This is crazy, mind-blowing stuff. So, for anyone getting started, I ask them, where are you starting from? Can you rent rooms in your house? Because truly, I call it the power of the sum of the parts is worth more than the whole. Because if you can rent different rooms in the same house, you can create an income of anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 extra per month just from one house. Wow. Just by getting creative with space. And then, of course, if you're doing it on a whole house rental, you can again create double or triple the rental income you've been getting from long-term tenants. So that's a guideline you can use. And if you're doing a timeshare, if you're tired of paying the dues on something you're not even using year after year, you can actually start to rent out your free week and create an income that gives you triple-digit returns, that covers your dues and puts extra cash in your pocket. So just depending on what someone's starting with, we can work it from there and strategize ways to maximize the income to really make it appealing as an Airbnb, because you have to think about it in terms of what the guests want. And that's the other thing about Airbnb, is that it kind of blows out that location thing that traditional real estate investors are looking for. Because now it's creating opportunity in real estate where most people aren't even looking. Yeah. it's powerful.
Yeah.
So
Oh my God,
This
that is,
is
oh
amazing.
God, that
This
that
this takes
so
what Gail was saying to a whole nother level when it's like if you can imagine it, you can monetize it. So I'm saying, you imagine having a little room, you can monetize that room. I love this economy that we are in, the sharing economy, and pretty much the digital age, because so much opportunity has been opened up. And this truly is a game changer. So I really want to encourage you guys listening. You know, perhaps you like myself. I mean, we just went on a good vacation, but while we were gone, we could have had our place probably be on Airbnb and then make back our vacation money, right? Time we came back, probably could have made it back. And so these are ways that we want you guys to think critically, to look at ways in which you can maximize. Furthermore, she's going to share with us another strategy, because some of you might say, okay, it might not be for you, or let's say, okay, you and your spouse may not be on the same page with it, but you know somebody else who has a property or who has timeshares. And so now you can be able to kind of be a go-between, or kind of work that out, or at least introduce them to this opportunity, right? So tell us, how does the timeshare work? So you said, okay, one is they can make money pretty much by renting out a room, renting out, I mean, just a place to stay, anywhere to stay in the house. Many people are doing it. You're talking about overseas in so many countries. I mean, I was looking at Bali the other day. We're looking at going there next year. And yeah, people are doing Airbnb in Bali.
mhm.
I'm like, whoa, all the way over there, folks are doing this stuff. So the income potential and opportunities are unlimited. So you can be traveling everywhere like Gail is and use Airbnb yourself, but also you can be able to help others take their property and list it on Airbnb, or even manage it for them. So you want to give us any other tips on that, whether it's be using timeshare or how somebody can leverage somebody else's property to be able to help them do Airbnb?
Sure. Yeah, it's interesting because since I wrote a book and I have a course online to help teach people how to do Airbnb with the rooms in their houses or whole houses or timeshares, I kept hearing from folks, I don't have anything to work with. I don't own a house. What can I do? And, if you want to go out and rent someone else's house, that is another strategy. However, it takes I'd say about $25,000 in capital to get a rental going, to pay the rent and the deposit and the furnishings. So a lot of my students were saying, I don't have a property and I don't have that much capital and I'm not comfortable taking out that much of a loan. What can I do? So this new model of guest management services is the one that I'm the most excited about right now, because you don't need a property, you don't need capital to get started, and you don't have to take out a loan ever. And I love it because for me, I have to confess, I have a very low risk tolerance. And this is the absolute best business model for a person who wants to start an Airbnb business, to get into the lucrative Airbnb game and not have to come in with property or money. And it also is the best one, in my opinion, for the landlord or the property owner. So you're simply partnering with those folks who already have the property, who want to make the extra money with Airbnb, but they just don't have the time to set it up and manage it on a daily basis. So this is the one that I'm actually showing people how to do, and it just started this year because it's kind of one of those best kept secrets. Or actually, I've been doing it for quite some time, but never really realized the power of it before, I guess. So now that we've started to structure it and put all the systems and automation in place, and I've created the trainings, so now people can simply get the course, plug in, and be up and running in the next 60 days with their own Airbnb business just by using this new guest management services strategy.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so we're just gonna take a little pause here. For those who are joining us, we are talking with six-figure Airbnb host Sue Hoyuela. She's featured in this book, Monetize Your Skills. Monetize Your Skills, listed on page 47 all the way to 69. I think 22 pages. So we want you to make sure you check her out. But we're trying to now land the plane here. She's going to reveal to us in just a moment a PDF that you're going to download for free that will give you all this juicy information. All right. So you can be able to explore the Airbnb gold mine. It's really and truly a gold mine. It's an on tap. And after this, I'm going to also get with her and see how we can actually take advantage of that and probably get back into utilizing this model as well. So again, we want to say thank you for those who have joined us so far. We know Sheila is on here, Kat, Martha, Dr. Cooper, all you guys, Bruce, thank you guys for checking in. If you do have any questions for her last minute, let us know. And so we try to get them out to her. If not, we'll ask them in our post show, and then you guys will be able to probably see that in one of our news feed. So we also, let's give a plug right here. For those of you, again, you see the power of the internet, the power of online. And we believe that if you're going to actually host your website online, Bluehost is always a good option. Our website is hosted on Bluehost, and we have about 7 to 10 other websites that are also powered by Bluehost. So make sure you check them out. If you want to power your email marketing, one of the best tools that we use is GetResponse. So you want to check out, the links are all on the screen that Mr. Brooks is putting on here. So make sure you check those out, GetResponse and Bluehost. Okay. So now let's try to land this thing now. So you have written a wonderful report. You mentioned also you have an online course, by the way. So those who really want in-depth training, like you guys can be able to get it. Now I'm telling you, your book is called Talking About Six Figures. Now we're not gonna definitely say how much six figures you're making, but are you actually doing six figures with Airbnb?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because you're income, right? And you are in LA area. So we know that it is possible. So if she's doing it, we are saying, and we bring you on credible people on here. Most people who bring on this show are people who does six figures in their particular niche. So Sue can teach you. I'm telling you, I know Sue. I've been reading her stuff. I've attended some of her webinars that she's done. By the way, she has webinars too. And if you get the PDF, I think at the end of the PDF report, there's also a link to a video, a webinar that you can take as well. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the report and the juicy things that people can learn more about this Airbnb opportunity?
All right. Thank you, Chance. You know, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here because I love what you're doing with monetizing your skills. And the sharing economy now, it's open to everyone. It's so amazing, the opportunity. So, yeah, to be able to bring this to your tribe, to help them learn how they can work with their own house, rooms in their house, second homes, timeshares, or even other people's houses, they can start to make a six-figure income with Airbnb right now, starting even with nothing. All they have to have is the determination and the drive. In fact, I started doing Airbnb working full-time and, you know, just eking it out, doing 10 hours a month, and not that I was cleaning the rooms myself. You know, in my course, I teach people how to outsource that and train and all those good things that go into a successful business, because what I've learned is you want to work yourself out of the business. You don't want to work in the business. You want to work on it. So with my course, people can accelerate that learning curve and not have to go through 6 years of trial and error like I did to get there quicker. So yeah, I mean, you know, when I first quit my job, I started going crazy. I was like watching TV one day, and you know, we have a two-story house, and you know how there's a stairway and then the wall and then the TV's on that wall, and we've basically used that space as a cupboard. So I was looking at that closet going, you know, why isn't it making me money? So I decided, why not turn that closet into the Harry Potter cupboard under the stairs room? So we put a twin bed in there, and we decorated it with, you know, Harry Potter themed stuff, and we were making money on that room. We put a tent in our backyard, rented it for $700 a month in summer, and you know, just got really creative with space, trying to test the limits of Airbnb and what's possible. And what we discovered was pretty much you're only limited by your imagination. So I've created a download for your listeners called How to Make a Juicy Side Income with Airbnb. And it goes into all the ways you can get creative with space, use Airbnb to maximize your income, and create that six-figure income from just being creative with all the ways you can use this wonderful tool called Airbnb.
Awesome, awesome. I do have a few questions here. We're going to put up the link to the report while I ask you some questions. We also want to check in with Gail in just a moment. So let's put up that link if we have that link, the monetizeyourshow.com/Airbnb. Simple, the monetizeyourshow.com/Airbnb. If you go there, you'll be able to download this wonderful PDF. It's about 13 pages, and she's going to be sharing with you those 3 juicy ways that you can monetize the Airbnb platform. Okay, so real quick, we have a few questions here, and Gail, feel free to chime in whenever. So Martha is asking, how did it work out with the shed rental? That shed that you were talking about that you had outside, and what things did you put in it? Like, for example, plumbing, I guess food, a fridge, or anything like that.
Oh my gosh, this is great. Okay, you're not going to believe it, right? So it's a shed, and technically you can't put plumbing in a shed. All it has is electricity, and it's within range of the Wi-Fi. So people do get their Wi-Fi signal in the shed. We put 2 twin beds in the loft and a full-size bed downstairs. It's got a heater and an air conditioner and a closet bar to hang the clothes. So that's it. And we tell people, if you want to come in to use the restroom, you have to walk 10 steps to get to the main house to come inside. And we have 3 shared restrooms that folks can use. And it's that rustic of an experience. That's why we were shocked. We're like, seriously? People know that there's no restroom. They're welcome to come in and use the kitchen. That's fine. There's no washer dryer. They can use ours. But the cabin, oh my gosh. My husband is a comedian, right? I could tell stories. But one of the things he loves to do is when the guests check into the cabin, and he's saying, okay, I'll give you a tour now where everything is. So on the side over here is a shovel with a roll of toilet paper on the handle of it. And he tells them that that's where the restroom is. And I'm like, no, there is a real restroom you can use. Don't worry. But you just see that look on their face like, what have we done? Right? I'm like, no, it's okay. There are restrooms. So it's not that rustic. But yeah, so we're just playing around. But yeah, the shed has been amazing. And it's also because it's very tiny. And there's this big tiny house movement going on right now. So it's actually featured on Airbnb's category called The Littlest Things. So that's helped drive tons of traffic to it. It's our most popular listing, and it's filled year round, essentially.
Wow, that's amazing. So, so Curtis, you can bring you back up. Can't even tell. So, hey guys, I just want to let you know a couple of different things. One, as I mentioned, you want to talk about rustic. Okay, so as I mentioned, I'm outside. I'm at a Starbucks, and I'm on the patio. So here's the thing, I'm running out of juice. So I want to get this one question in, and then I'm going to have to take me off because I don't want to just blank out. So I just want to let you guys know I am still here, but it probably won't be for too long because everything is going down. But what Sue is saying is so true. And so this is what I want to know, because this is what I noticed as I was booking Airbnb. It's all about the description and being honest with people about what you're going to get so that there are no surprises. Mm-hmm. And that way you will be surprised at what people will take. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, exactly. Amen. I mean, it is so true. And we've really pushed the limits on what will somebody rent, starting with that closet under the stairs. We're like, really? I put my couch up on Airbnb saying, who wants to sleep on my couch in the living room where there's traffic going through all day long, people passing by? We rented that out for $29 a night. People were happy as clams to sleep on the couch. We're stepping over their suitcases and things. They don't care. We're like, oh, okay. So, but you're right. As long as you're telling them exactly what they're getting, then they can say, okay, well, that sounds good to me, and it's amazing what people will rent. It's really fun.
That's insane. So one of the things that I will say is this, and this is what I'm kind of learning more and more, kind of like stop thinking about when you're looking at this to the business, stop thinking about yourself. Mm-hmm. You have to think other people, because you have young people in particular. They don't care. They're backpackers. They're, some people, like as Sue mentioned, they're rustic. They just want a place to sleep. And so I've literally seen where people have said, here, I got an air mattress on the floor. You can have this corner space, it's $20 a night. Or the hostel setup where you've got the two bunk beds and each bunk bed is renting out for $20 and you're in a room with four other people. And so some people just do not care. And when you compare that with what you would be spending at a hotel, it's like, for what? I only spend a little bit of time in my hotel anyway. So you're not in the room that long. So and I will tell you, on average, I spend under $50 a night. So, 50 is about the most I've spent so far. That's probably about the best. No, and I'm not even going to totally say that. One of the places that did I drop off? Okay.
No problem. So it dropped off just a bit there, but we pick her back up in just a moment. So so you guys have heard so many examples, testimonials. You're seeing the actual tangible results from Sue's experience. Others are doing it. Bruce is on here. He just said last week he was at an Airbnb. Actually, I'd be interested. For those who are on, can you let us know, have you ever stayed at an Airbnb? Have you tried an Airbnb before? Have you thought about it? And what has been your experience? For the last few weeks, if you've been watching the Monetize You show, Gail has been in different locations each time that we're on. And right now she's in another one. Tomorrow she'll be at another one. So she's also doing this experience also to be able to chronicle it into a blog and to help to get the word out there more. That's how much we believe in it, because it really is changing people's lives. So let's put up that link again. By the way, as a gift, Sue is on here. She came on. We are so happy, but she wants to give you more value. So if you want to download the free PDF, make sure you go to themonetizeyouShow.com/Airbnb. Very simple. themonetizeyouShow.com/Airbnb. I have another question. I think we got time for maybe two more. Another question here. Kat is asking, Sue, pretty much she's tried to, try to set up a profile and she's kind of overwhelmed. How can people start simply with this opportunity? Well, for one, Kat, for me, simply download the PDF report first, themonetizeyouShow.com/Airbnb. Check it out, look it over to get a better view of what's happening or what should happen. So, Sue, how can someone pretty much, get started? What should be their first step in getting started with Airbnb?
That's a good question. So if, they have a room in their house, that would be a really good way to start to get your feet wet. I know a friend of mine, he had 7 different home healthcare facilities that he was thinking about converting to vacation rentals, but before he jumped in and made the huge commitment, he started with one room in his house. And after just 30 days, he loved it. He loved greeting the guests, meeting the people, the money. He says, that's it. My 2 kids are going to share a room now where he's going to rent a second room in his house. So that's a really good way. Another thing I've noticed too is a lot of people who travel, they will actually stay in Airbnbs to get an inside look at what it's like to be a guest. And they learn so much of what to do and what not to do. They become the best hosts. So that's one way to go about it. Like Gail's doing, man, she's going to be the consummate expert after having all sorts of stories, I imagine. Yeah. But of course, if you want to just shortcut the learning curve, I'm here to coach and train as well. I have my online course that's for people who just want to read through it in a weekend and then get up and running with their own Airbnb. And I also provide monthly group coaching calls to provide continuous support to help people build their Airbnb businesses as they go along.
Awesome. So I hope that you guys will at least give it a shot. Like I said, there are many, many ways. And actually, what we've been sharing and learning from Sue is that there are at least 13 different ways of monetizing Airbnb. 13. So it's not like you're going to go in there and try it. There are so many different things that you can do. But the results are pretty much there. You got to just go and give it a shot. Also, like she said, talk to a few people. Go maybe stay in an Airbnb tomorrow or this weekend and kind of talk to the host or see how it's being done. But give it a shot. That's the best way. If you give it a shot and it doesn't work, okay, or come at it at a different angle. Or like we believe in 2018, one of the things we said at the beginning of this year is if you do want to accelerate your learning curve or you want to accelerate your success, get help, right? And so coaching, training is a better way to go. So part of the coaching, you can begin learning more from Sue here. Okay, go back and read the book, right? Some of you actually have this book. If you're on our show, we've given away some copies of this as well, but we know that it's in here. So go in there, read the book, monetizeyourskills.com, go to page 47 and digest all that she has there. The quickest way I would say though is grab this free report. It's very colorful, nicely put together. You guys will love it. I've looked at it already. And so the monetizeyourshow.com/Airbnb. Read over the report. If you have any question, you can contact Sue directly. Don't contact us. We're not the expert. We're giving you the information. She is the expert. And so we want you to just get on that link. There's also a webinar that she put together. And I think the link is the PDF, right? That's correct, Gail? The link is on the PDF?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys will be able to get that. And it's about an hour, so you will get a deep dive training into more things. We're just trying to get it out to our tribe. So here's the thing. If you have a family, friend, or somebody who you know may not know about this information or could benefit from it, do make sure you share this training. Also, send them to the monetizeyourshow.com/Airbnb so they too can download the report, start looking at it, and get in touch with Sue. So any closing words, Sue, any last tip you want to give on how folks can reach you or anything about your other books?
Well, there are so many ways to make money, like you're saying, six-figure incomes with the sharing economy. And for me, Airbnb was the door that led to financial freedom. So that's why I'm so passionate about sharing this message with people so that they can achieve financial freedom too, because I believe we all have a purpose in life. And, if we're trapped in a job or we just don't have the finances to pursue it or even discover what it is, we feel unfulfilled, and we just need that opportunity to get free to pursue those things. So I know with your book, you've got so many ideas for people and ways to do that. And, if I can be of any assistance in helping folks if they want to do the Airbnb business model, I'm available, and I can be reached at sue@vacationrentalsinla.net. And I'm just happy to be part of your Monetize You team. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. No, we appreciate you. You give a lot of value today. This is really a great opportunity. And we appreciate it so much so because also we see Gail is experiencing it. And people have been liking one show she did. She shared a lot of pictures and a few video clips of where she was. And so people kind of like that. So this is great. And so I'm a little jealous too, because I see some of the places you stay in the neighborhoods. It's like, wow. So that's another thing. I'm like, some of you guys who are on this show, you might live in a nice neighborhood. People like to stay in those areas. And maybe that's another way you can charge differently. If you live on the neighborhood with the golf course and all of that, probably you might charge a little more. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyhow, take it away. Thank you, Sue. I appreciate you for coming on. Guests, thank you guys for sharing with us. Thank you for sharing your questions. Also, please make sure you go to the monetizeyourshow.com/Airbnb to download that report. Gail, take it away.
All right, so hopefully I'll have enough juice to close us out, y'all, because it's good. The battery is going fast. So I want to also thank you again, Sue. I love it. I so appreciate it. Like I said, you've so expanded my mind. It's been absolutely amazing because there are so many ways, as Sue mentioned, that you can do this. I mean, I've paid attention just from things that I've seen that I like and that I was even able to share with some of my hosts that they could do to make the experience more appealing. So and stay tuned, guys, because I'm going to continue to share as I'm going along my journey. Stick with me, okay? And I've asked you before, if you have a recommendation, let me know, because I'm in California. I don't know where I am. Right now, I reach out to Sue and say, okay, where do I need to go next? So if you guys have a recommendation, I am totally open for it. And again, with that, before I totally shut down, I want to thank Mr. Curtis Brooks with Curtis Brooks Media Production. You know the man, okay? Mr. Cool Breeze is in the back, that's giving us orders, giving us direction, and he can help you too. If you have a show that you want to put together, if you want to understand live streaming, if you want to get your email marketing together, whatever you need, he is available. You can connect with him on our page, on the Monetize You Show page. Thank you to everyone for being here. I appreciate you guys. We appreciate you and your support. Really put this out there to other people. The other thing, which is going to be a little different today, we think this information is totally valuable. So this is kind of what we're going to be doing. We're going to leave this up at least for the next 24 hours, and then this is going to come down because we're probably going to be utilizing this content in a course or a training or somewhere. If in order for you to access it after that, you're going to have to pay for it. So you need to consume it. Go to those links. Go check those links out. That is like absolutely phenomenal. The other thing is, I do have if you guys want to go and experience Airbnb for yourself, I've got a $40 credit that I'm giving to people. So you'll be able to access that as well. I forgot to give my my producer the link again. So I'll make sure to put that on the page so you guys can just click on and set up your Airbnb. Oh my God, set up your Airbnb profile. And that way you can go stay in an Airbnb, stay in one in your neighborhood. That's the first time I ever did it. That's what I did. I stayed at one that was in the neighborhood back in Maryland where I was. And it was great. And as Sam said, yes, some of the places I stayed at have been absolutely gorgeous. And they're way below what you would pay at a hotel and a lot more friendlier. So with that, thanks again. Make sure you guys stay tuned with us next week for another episode of the Monetize You Show. And as always, at the end of every program, I always say, if you can imagine it, you can monetize it. See you guys next week. Peace.